bit of an update on the engine here. Bit of housey techno going on. Turn that off actually. Yes, I was a raver in the south, but never mind. I'm long gone now. So I've got DTI set up. If you're not familiar, DTI dial test indicator. So this is a very accurate gauge. I've got that set up, looking at the, waiting for the rear piston to come up. So I've got my timing disc set up. So I've already been through and set this up. I've got my little pointer, piece of wire, not to be touched. And I have my flywheel in here. So there is a mark on the flywheel to mark top dead center for a rear piston. Haven't checked out the front piston yet, but I'm sure it does. But it's going to be 90 degrees out, and if it isn't 90 degrees out, I'll be very surprised and shocked. But there we go. So anyway, if I crank this handle slowly, so that's turning, you'll notice piston coming up, and when it gets to 0, so I've already set this up, woo, I will know that I'm at top dead center. So this is still coming up slowly. While I'm doing that, I will show you through the timing window. You'll see I've put a red mark on the flywheel where there's a little detent position. And I might have to just put some put a light on here. There we go. You can see that a bit better. So you see that I've put splash and red paint on there. Don't worry, I'll clean that off after once I've timed it all off, because this case has to come back off again anyway. But when that hits that pointer on the casing, on the window of the casing, you're at top dead center. The little dot I presume is for ignition, and that is your ignition trigger position, which is oh well, look how many degrees that is. So let's move that until we get there, and bonk about there, and we're reading 5 degrees before top dead center. So that's probably a timing mark for your pickup coils. And if you look here, we're still not quite at the top, so we keep on going just really slowly now, and when this tops out, this gauge tops out, we're near enough at 0. There, that's topped out. So that piston is now at top dead center. That's as high as it will go. And if we look on here, a red mark lines up on our needle, and we are at, I've just gone 1 degree past, so we'll just take it back again, and then we'll take it up, and I'll just set it to 0 on here. Let me check that. Yep. So that is our top dead center position. So this is going to be my primary reference. Now it is a bit bendy, but you've got to make sure you don't touch it, and don't touch it from now on, otherwise it'll give you a false reading. But I can always go back and check against that mark, and I can always put a DTI on piston. So there you will notice that rear cylinder at top dead center. The front cylinder is halfway up the bore, which makes sense, because then you keep rotating, piston coming up and up and up and up. So when I get to, so there's 45 degrees of crank rotation, basically 3/4 of the way up. And then if I turn this to 90 degrees, I'm pretty damn certain that that piston will be at top dead center, because it's a 90 degree V-twin, or the Italians like to call them L-twins. And you'll notice there is the second mark for the front piston, and I'll put a yellow dot on that probably, just so it's a little bit easier to pick up and a little bit harder to make mistakes. So that's my timing disc set up, and I'll leave it at that, and then that now allows me to start doing the chem timing on the rear cylinder first and then the front cylinder. It's rear cylinder first because primarily they're almost like a single cylinder engine, you know. If I do that, it's a single cylinder engine, so this behaves as a single cylinder engine. This is just an extra cylinder basically. So as long as you time that rear cylinder up correctly, you can't really go wrong on the front. And the other reason you do the rear one up is because that's the first belt to go on. That's the inboard belt that runs on this pulley here. That is the correct one. So a little bugbear I do have with Ducati engines, which is unlike most other engines and motorcycle engines you'll come across, especially Japanese, is that they've set it up so the timing disc is on one side of the engine and all the fiddly timing stuff is on the other side of the engine, which is a major fucking pain in the ass as far as I'm concerned. I want to be able to look at this and the position of the cam at the same time while turning it, but I won't be able to do that on this, so just typical Italians just make it a bit more complicated than it has to be. But why not?